Hello, my lovely art witches. How are you? I hope you are all well and busy art witching. So today's video, as you can probably tell from the title, is a flip through of the first section in my Wheel of the Year journal. So I've just completed all of the pages for Lughnasadh. And I am about to start, can't wait, quite excited, the Mabon pages, autumn equinox pages, because that's my favourite festival. So I thought you would appreciate a flip through each festival or each season. And then at the end of the year, I can also do a full, cover to cover flip through as well. So let's get into it. Just check that you can see all of that in frame. No, you can't. This book is too big. I'm just going to see if I can bring this up a little bit to give you a bit more view. Hello, Godric. Thank you for joining us. So I'm still having problems with this lifting up. Doesn't matter what I do. So, Wheel of the Year 2023, and this is Lughnasadh. So, as you know, it's the Chaos Craft book that I've been sort of using as a jumping off point for this. So this, they say that Lughnasadh is red, and that it is about curses, invocations, and the tactical deployment of red war magic. Now, that's probably not quite how I see Lughnasadh, but it's interesting nonetheless. What I do see with Lughnasadh is what the ancient Romans felt about it was that it is the intense heat and the intense light can bring out a lot of aggression and anger. Certainly makes me angry. I hate summer, as you know. It's a little bit cooler this week, which I am just so ever thankful for. Last week it was, I don't know, it was over 40 degrees for about 5 days in a row. It was just horrendous. Every day the weather app on my phone was saying, heat wave warning, heat wave warning. I'm like, you don't say, as if I didn't know that. It's flipping hot outside. So anyway, I'm ranting again because you know how much I hate this time of year. So yes, I can see where this curses and invocations and war magic energy might come from. It comes from that fiery heat that is around, particularly where I live at this time of year. And we've got Little Red Riding Hood here, just because, why not? And then, as you know, I've been slightly mushroom obsessed lately, and I have been reading this lovely book by Sean Engel, called Mushroom Magic. Highly recommend. Don't recommend you let Godric near any of your books because he eats all the corners. Little shit. But this is a lovely book. It's beautifully illustrated. It's got a lovely feel to it, and it's full of really interesting, detailed information about different types of mushrooms and how you can use them in magic. Lots of kitchen witchery in here as well. And then other magic with the more toxic kinds of mushrooms. So I did a little bit of kitchen witchery, and I'm going to have to scooch this over so you can see my flip out of smoked chicken linguine, which is a recipe that I love to do this time of year, and it has mushrooms in it. So then we've got a little bit of information about mushrooms in magic and what they represent. And then this is some information on Lughnasadh the festival. I tried a technique that I saw Emily from Fern and Oak Art do in her in-bulk pages. Is it in-bulk pages? Yeah, I think. Where she watercoloured in the background and then she spread white what's that stuff called, acrylic gouache over it, and I just didn't do it very well, and it looks really messy. Hers looked so cool, and mine just looks super, super messy. But such is life, right? So I did that for the Lughnasadh pages and made them very red. This is a page out of one of those fairy tale books that I pick up sometimes in the op shop. Very 70s, very cute. So there you have it. Unfortunately, it's a bit messy, but that's what happens. Blackberry, this is a plant that I've been finding myself drawn to. Blackberries are a really invasive weed here in Australia. They're an introduced species and they are a noxious weed and you're not allowed to actually plant them, but they're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. So I've been drawn to working with blackberry for its protective properties, specifically the leaf, a blackberry leaf, more than the fruit. So that's, yeah, just a little bit of a delve into blackberry and information about it. And then this is sort of based very loosely on something from that Chaos Craft book where they talk about consecrating your wine as blood of the witch. And they sort of mentioned that it was inspired by the film The Craft, which you know I love, and that scene where they go on their little field trip and they do the whole I drink of my sisters and I blah 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 blah, state their intentions or their wishes or what have you to come true. And so I've sort of used that as a jumping off point as well, and I did this just after Lughnasadh, and I think that's something that I want to mention, is that the Sabbat festivals aren't just about that one singular day. They're a whole season. I mean, more often than not, a Sabbat will fall slap bang in the middle of my work week, and I'm not going to come home and do anything particularly elaborate. Sometimes I will actually take the day off work for a Sabbat if I've got specific plans and I want to make a really big day of it. And sometimes it falls on a weekend and I can make a big day of it. But more often than not, it doesn't. But I will honour the season over, days, weeks. You think there's around about 6 or 7 weeks between each of the festivals. Utilize that time to embrace the season, embrace the Lughnasadh season, or embrace the Imbolc season. You guys in the Northern Hemisphere are coming up to Ostara, the spring equinox. Embrace the whole spring season. Don't just focus on that one singular day, that one equinox day. Yes, that's the important date. But then again, you might celebrate that on the equinox date, or you might celebrate it on the actual, there's an astrological point where things are actually day and night are in balance and it's not the equinox. I don't know exactly how it all works. I have looked into it and I've read about it and it's incredibly detailed and confusing. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me if there's a specific moment in time, because I celebrate the whole season. For us going into my favourite festival of Mabon, or the autumn equinox, it is about balance, but it's also about the coming darkness, the coming cool weather, the crisp mornings. Oh, I love them. And for us here where I live, the coming rain, because summertime is a time of dust and no rain. Like, it's just so hot. Sometimes we'll have what is termed a thunderstorm here in summer with actually no water. So you get thunder and lightning, the skies are all dark and grey and stormy, but you don't actually get any water. There's no rainfall. It's just muggy and sticky and yuck. Now, that's not very often. It's a very dry place where I live, it's not in the tropics where you get a lot of, you sort of more of a wet season and a dry season situation happening, and we don't get a lot of humidity here. It's very, very dry. But yeah, sometimes we have those and they suck, because I always think, oh, thunderstorm, yay, it's going to rain and it's going to cool down. And you'd think I'd know after 47 years of living in this place what that means, but I think I'm just ever hopeful of cool and wet weather. So that's what we're coming into. We're coming into, usually it starts to get a lot wetter around April, around Samhain, April, May, and that goes through until spring, which is lovely. So I don't know, I went off on another little ramble there, didn't I? Seasons, that's right. Celebrate the whole season. Take your time over it. I mean, we're only about 2.5 weeks from Mabon now, and I haven't even started my Mabon pages in this book. So, and it hasn't quite felt, I haven't felt ready. I mean, as I said last week, it was 38, 40 degrees. That's Celsius, by the way, not Fahrenheit. And it's been horrible, and it certainly hasn't felt like that cooler autumnal season start. In Australia, we, in, you know, the sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, the rules, I don't know who makes up these rules because they're stupid, but the 1st of March is autumn. It's fucking not. It's not even, it never, not any year in the 47 years I've lived on this planet and in this place has it felt like autumn on the 1st of March. Now, by the autumn equinox, 3 weeks later, sure, we're starting to get cooler weather. That's, for me, when autumn starts. And it's, early autumn isn't very, you know, autumnal. It's not that picturesque mist and autumn leaves and, you know, all of that, which I have in my mind. But it's definitely the beginning of the season, not the 1st of March. And then, you know, they say that summer starts on the 1st of December. It doesn't really. It starts mid-December or around Lith or Christmas, around the solstice. We can sometimes have quite a hot spring, but true summer really doesn't hit until that sort of Christmas period in most years. Sometimes it comes early. We've had years where we've described it as sprummer because we don't really get spring. It just goes straight to summer at around about August. Anyway, so moving on. This is my self-love spell that I did for Valentine's Day, which falls obviously for us here in the Southern Hemisphere in the midst of all of this hot, fiery energy. So I did a little bit of a self-love collage spell here for that. Neffy has opinions, apparently. You're right there. She's sitting right next to me. This really has nothing to do with Lughnasadh, but for some reason with the colour red and the energy of the fiery season, I started to see or feel that Gryffindor energy, and I'm a Gryffindor, according to the sorting hat. And so, yeah, it just sort of, you know, sometimes it has to happen and you put it in your book. I think it started with this picture of a lion that I had sitting in my collage papers, and it just went from there. And I got a chance to use some of my lovely Harry Potter stickers because I don't actually have a use for many of them, to be honest. I have heaps of them. It's like, what do I actually do with them? So that was kind of fun to do that. And then this is a little painting of the cosmic egg, which I've had a lot of the cosmic egg experiences that I've had that have appeared in mostly in meditations. The egg is always red. I don't know why. The snake varies from yellow to brown to green. depending on the meditation at the time that I happen to be having. But the egg is always red, and it feels very much appropriate for this season to me. So there's my cosmic egg spread. Then this is a little Lughnasadh taro spread that I did. The spread idea came from flyingthehedge.com. And it's about harvest. So it's about growth, harvest, ripening, and seed saving. And these beautiful stamps, by the way, are by La Green Witch. I will link her, either her Etsy or her Instagram, or I think she's actually got a YouTube channel as well. So maybe I'll just link that, because that'll have all her socials and stuff on it. Love her stamps. She just creates this amazing detail in such a tiny stamp. I don't know how she does it. She has talent. It's incredible. I'd love to buy more of hers, but obviously exchange rates and things, because she's in, I think she's in Belgium. I think. She's certainly in Europe, and with the exchange rate of the euro and then the postage costs from anywhere else in the world, as you all know, you buy anything from overseas and the postage is horrendous. So I'm saving up for another set of her stamps because I love them so much. And then a little page on red crystals, using my own carved stamps of crystals. I did a whole range of these for my crystal book project, which I have not advanced any further on since you saw it last. So slack. And this is actually a stamp that I bought. There's a bunch of crystal stamps that I bought as well. So MOOKA, which is an Australian jasper. It's red with a little bit of yellow through it. It's a gorgeous crystal. I love MOOKA, and it's named MOOKA because of the place that it's found, which is called MOOKA. And I would imagine that that's a First Nations name, but I don't know what it means. I'm going to go look that up after this. Red jasper and carnelian are two red crystals that I first started with. I have conflicting feelings about crystals. I don't tend to buy them anymore because there's so much... we've got cat fighting going on here. Okay. So where was I? Yeah, some of the practices, mining practices, and child labor and all that sort of stuff. The ethical crystals are hard to get because every seller will tell you that they buy ethical crystals, and they can't all be. That's a lie. And I don't know who to believe and who not to believe. So I pretty much don't buy them anymore, but I do still end up receiving them in parcels and things. People will send me crystals. Someone will include a crystal with a witchy order of something else, or obviously in subscription boxes. And I'm thinking I might sign back up to the Muses of Mystery Sabbat box. So we'll see how that goes. I know I stopped it for nearly a year now. But I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling like I want to have it again. So I probably will get a whole lot more crystals in that. That's to be expected. So I go a bit against my principles. And obviously I already have a shit ton of crystals because I started buying crystals back in the 90s. So, yeah. I have a shit ton of crystals that are probably not ethical. It's done now. So I'm still going to use them because why buy them and not use them? So there we go. Garnet and red aventurine. Red aventurine's really pretty. You don't see it all that often. Garnet you see a lot more often now when it's polished. Oh my God, a really beautiful cut garnet, faceted cut garnet. So gorgeous. And then we have some more recipes because, after all, we all know that Lughnasadh is really just a big carb festival. Do love me some carbs. So I have done a little carbs collage in here. And I have this little envelope with some recipes in it for the season. And they include a butter and grain prosperity spell, which is literally just toast with butter, but it's with a little spell as well, to charge your entire body with prosperity magic. And this little card has a piece of ephemera by Molly Roberts on it. The other pieces are my own. This is a dandelion salad that I like at this time of year that is a spell for protection and health. And it is really good with a big bowl of spaghetti bolognese and garlic bread for Lughnasadh, or anything really. Nice risotto or something. And on the back we have a bean bruschetta. I love a good bruschetta, especially in this warmer weather. And this one is delicious with cannellini beans and sage and lemon. Just gorgeous. Glass of white wine. Oh, delish. So that's a few delicious Lughnasadh recipes to make at this time of year. Get that. Does not want to go in, does it? Too much collage. Getting caught on things. There we go. So a little recipe page, and this is my page about the god Lu. Chose this sexy man to represent Lu. I did a bit of gold leaf for his halo and gave him a spear because he has a spear. And yeah, I wrote just a little bit of information about him and his holy day. And then we have a herbal spell for safeguarding success. As you can see, I'm working that way in this book. This is from the Llewellyn book about Lughnasadh. I have the Sabbats series. I bought the box set. Oh, more cat fighting. Guys, just chill. Yep, so I bought the Llewellyn box set, and that's a spell out of that book. As is this one, a calm down candle spell, some more Molly ephemera that I've been hoarding. And then I've got this little flip out with the spell on it. And that just tucks neatly in there. With this very, very cute horned god alchemical paper, and this witch doing her amazing fire magic. So yeah, that's a spell for ridding yourself of negative energies and pouring them into a candle, and then extinguishing that candle with a glass of water after you've drunk the calming, cooling effects of the water. So there we go. That's it. That's Lughnasadh. That's what the Sabbat is about. And then I also have a cute little a zazine. It's another piece of Molly ephemera that I have decided to finally put somewhere special, because it's about autumn and it's at the end of this season, ready to go into my pages for Mabon, which, as you can see, I haven't touched yet, but according to Chaos Craft, Mabon is blue. So we have lots of blue pages to work on. So you will see those Mabon pages all filled up in about 6 weeks' time or so. We'll see how long it takes me to get them done, but I hope you've enjoyed seeing stage 1, Sabbat 1, the Lughnasadh pages, and I hope you have been inspired or excited to get into your own journals, let me know what you're doing. I'm always interested to see other people's books of shadows or art magic or art journaling or anything that you're doing. So stay creative and stay witchy.